Hi everyone, welcome to my part 3 of my reviews of the Fire Emblem series for the Game Boy Advance. So finally we arrive at the last of them, the one responsible for leading temporarily the franchise into success. Back in the day before Awakening saved the franchise, this game used to be considered as the best Fire Emblem ever. Of course, there have always been mixed opinions about that fact, and everybody has their own favorite, like me. But according to the majorities, the Sacred Stones was the best. I can understand why, since it had a tremendously good plot, story-driven characters very well developed, a variety of cast that participated directly in the plot, a friendly gameplay, a good challenge, etc. It had all the great elements to be called a true Fire Emblem. Overall, it was one of the most, if not the most, well-respected title of the franchise and held atop a silver plate by many. However, as time went on, several things made its fame fade into oblivion. In my opinion, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this game. It's not perfect, but it's still great. Nevertheless, complaints arose when people finally played the previous titles for the Famicom and Super Famicom series, fan translated to English. They discovered Fire Emblem was actually a really hard strategy RPG franchise in which you had to use what little there was at your disposal to level up your characters and beat your enemies with teamwork. That didn't feel quite the same in Blazing Sword, but that one was still locked up in the same out-of-grinding area. Then came the Sacred Stones, with its famous Tower of Balni, in which you could level up your characters. It was the very first title to ever do something like that, and some of the fans were not pissed, just disappointed, because once you level up certain characters, they could swipe the floor with all enemies and bosses for the rest of the game. In other words, the game was broken. However, at least from my perspective, it was still a pain in the ass to beat the tower and or level up your characters, so it had a perfect counterpart to it. What I mean to say is that I disagree with most of the criticism this game has, including some rants about the main characters and how some cliches almost ruin the entire story. Okay, you have the classical frail princess that makes some bad decisions throughout the plot, and her beloved brother, which she shares a very strong bond, who just so happens to be allegedly called a master strategist, when in reality he's very emotional most of the time. Make no mistake, I am not making fun of the plot, I am just repeating what a lot of people complain about. But seeing characters like that grow and behave as what they truly are, teens of course, well, it kinda makes perfect sense to me. Yes, it's a classic cliché from anime and manga, especially in JRPGs, but how could you expect these kinds of characters to behave otherwise? In conclusion to that, let's just say that there's a gigantic background behind the story and a very interesting variety of characters that easily make up for whatever clichés there might be. To me, and I'm sure a lot of people as well, the Sacred Stones is one of the best Fire Emblems ever, maybe not the best, but it's far from deserving all the preposterous insults it has. Come on, there are a lot of JRPGs with war stories that are praised extremely good nowadays. But in any case, to each their own. I think it's a great game with a very addictive gameplay, two main characters to choose from, each with their own battles and situations, decent music, nice graphics, and a big damn etc. of positive traits. Right guys, that concludes my 3-part series of reviews of this fantastic and fabulous saga for the Game Boy Advance. Maybe someday I'm going to review the other Fire Emblem titles, especially my favorite ones, which are the GameCube and the Wii versions. But that's a story for another time. As usual, I want to thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to share the video with your friend, to subscribe to my channel, and to share your own opinion on the matter on the comment section below. That's it. See you next time.